The publishers suddenly pulled the plug on Charlie Kirk's book, and people are seriously side-eyeing the timing. Fans were already lined up and ready to spend their money. Then, out of nowhere, the release disappeared overnight. No real warning, no clear explanation, and barely any communication to the people who already paid up. Now, Erika Kirk is reportedly scrambling because the conversation has gotten way bigger than just a canceled release.
All right, guys, I know that you want to support the cause. I know that you want to support Charlie Kirk and his family and his organization, but
people are now connecting dots going all the way back to the moment Charlie passed away, and every road seems to circle back to one thing: money. That's the part making this whole situation harder and harder to explain away. The more people dig, the messier it starts looking, and online reactions are getting louder by the day. But here's the detail that really blew this story wide open. Erika reportedly handed critics the biggest talking point herself during a public appearance, on camera, in front of a crowd. She admitted she had never actually read the same book she had been heavily promoting for months. This is the very project she traveled across the country talking about.
All people grieve differently.
It Charlie's most important final message to supporters. Meanwhile, fans were reportedly ready to drop nearly $100 before shipping just to get their hands on it, which made the backlash hit even harder once that clip started spreading online. She admitted she had never read the book, and the explanation she gave did not land the way she probably hoped it would. Instead of sounding heartfelt, a lot of people thought it raised even more questions. Social media lit up fast because viewers felt the situation did not match the emotional image being presented publicly. Here's where everything really started unraveling. During a recent speaking event promoting the book Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life, Erika was doing what many people had already seen for months. She spoke heavily about grief, focused on Charlie's legacy, and tied that emotional message directly into promoting the book to audiences who genuinely cared about him and wanted to support his final project. Then the viral clip hit TikTok.
you need to be really careful who and where you're buying your merchandise from.
And things exploded online almost instantly. In the video, Erika spoke emotionally about how meaningful the book was to her and how important it was that Charlie's final words could live on through something people could physically hold, read, and connect with. She leaned hard into the emotional weight of the moment, and for a second it sounded like a powerful tribute. But then came the comment that completely changed the mood in the room. Erika explained that she had intentionally avoided reading the book because the experience felt special, and she wanted to preserve that feeling for as long as possible. She appeared to frame it as a deeply personal decision tied to grief and memory. But online audiences did not react the way she expected at all. A lot of viewers focused on one uncomfortable detail. She had reportedly spent months promoting the book across interviews, events, and public appearances while openly discussing its message, impact, and importance. Yet she now admitted she had never actually read it herself. That revelation instantly became the center of the controversy, and critics online started questioning how someone could passionately sell a book to supporters without personally going through its contents first.
Oh, how are we supposed, are we weird for wanting to grieve? Is that not the vibe? How can we take paid time off when Erika, his wife, is saying full steam ahead? It's very strange. It is even kind of using this idea of Charlie being in heaven, looking down, and the laughter. I don't know. I feel like the rest of you. I feel uncomfortable.
And that moment hit people hard, not only because of the admission itself, but because it seemed to clash with how Erika had spoken about the book before. Viewers quickly started comparing clips, and one interview in particular kept getting brought up again and again online. During her appearance with Megyn Kelly, Erika reportedly talked about the book as if she already knew it inside and out. She discussed its themes, referenced parts of the content, and spoke with the confidence and emotion of someone who had fully gone through every page. That is why the newer viral clip caused such a strong reaction. Once people heard her later say she had actually been avoiding reading the book altogether, many did not just feel confused, they felt misled. Online critics immediately started questioning which version of the story was true. To them, it sounded like two completely different explanations, and that contradiction became impossible to ignore. What made the backlash even bigger was the fact that this controversy did not appear out of nowhere. It landed on top of growing online discussions about Erika's handling of Charlie's legacy and the money connected to it. People who had already been skeptical suddenly felt like this was another piece of a much larger pattern. Then things got even more intense after a leaked audio recording released by Candace Owens started spreading online. The recording reportedly gave the public a private glimpse into how Erika was reacting behind the scenes after Charlie's passing. And for many listeners, what they heard was genuinely shocking. According to people discussing the clip online, Erika could allegedly be heard talking excitedly about the numbers connected to Charlie's memorial, and that instantly fueled even more debate across social media platforms. What shocked people listening to that recording was not what Erika reportedly said about grief or the love supporters showed after Charlie's passing. According to critics online, the focus seemed to be somewhere else entirely: the numbers. In the leaked audio discussed across social media, Erika allegedly talked about the memorial attendance figures, mentioning that more than 200,000 people had shown up. But what caught listeners off guard was the tone people believed they heard in her voice. Many said it sounded less like someone overwhelmed by emotion and more like someone reviewing the results of a major public event. The conversation reportedly shifted into discussions about Turning Point USA, signups, event reach, and how massive the turnout had been. Then came the detail that sparked the strongest backlash online. Critics claimed Erika also spoke about merchandise sales and the millions of dollars reportedly generated from the event, even though only a short amount of time had passed since Charlie's death. Candace Owens reacted strongly after releasing the audio and did not hold back about how she viewed it. She described the recording as one of the coldest things she had personally heard, arguing that discussing merchandise revenue, audience growth, and conversion-style numbers alongside the death of a spouse did not sound like a normal expression of grief to her. What made the leaked audio hit even harder for a lot of people was the reaction they believed they heard in Erika's voice. Critics online said she did not sound numb, disconnected, or emotionally overwhelmed. Instead, many listeners described her as energized and enthusiastic while discussing the numbers tied to Charlie's memorial and related events, and that detail pushed the controversy to another level. But the audio controversy was only part of the bigger picture. Long before the canceled book drama exploded online, there had already been growing backlash surrounding the merchandise operation connected to Charlie's legacy. Fans had reportedly been raising complaints publicly for months, and social media discussions around it kept getting louder. Shortly after Charlie's passing, Turning Point USA introduced a new line of tribute merchandise. At first, supporters saw it as a heartfelt way to honor his memory and feel connected to someone they admired deeply. Demand reportedly surged almost immediately, with products selling out faster than many expected. That initial wave of support quickly turned into frustration for some customers. complaints started appearing across Trustpilot, TikTok, X, and other social platforms from people claiming they had placed orders but never received their items. According to those posts, it was not just a matter of slow shipping or delayed tracking updates. Some buyers alleged they received no products at all and struggled to get clear answers about their purchases, which only intensified the criticism surrounding the entire operation. Some supporters claimed they spent serious amounts of money on tribute merchandise, in some cases hundreds of dollars, only for the products to reportedly never show up at all. As frustration grew, many customers said they tried contacting Turning Point USA for answers about missing orders. But instead of clear communication, they allegedly ran into silence. According to complaints shared online, buyers described receiving automated replies, vague emails, and generic customer service responses that did not directly address their situations. For people who are emotionally invested and trying to support Charlie's legacy, that experience reportedly felt especially upsetting. Critics argued that supporters were spending real money during an emotional moment, yet many felt they were left without meaningful help or accountability afterward. The wait times mentioned in online reviews also raised major concerns. Some customers claimed they waited more than 5 months for items that had reportedly been listed as available and ready to ship when purchased. Others said packages eventually arrived, but the products inside did not match what had been advertised. Several complaints pointed to wrong items being shipped, incomplete orders, or merchandise quality that customers felt did not justify the premium prices being charged. That part especially fueled backlash because many buyers believed they were purchasing meaningful keepsakes connected to Charlie's memory, not low-quality products surrounded by confusion and delays. As complaints piled up, some frustrated supporters reportedly stopped relying on customer service altogether and instead turned directly to credit card companies, banks, and PayPal disputes in attempts to recover their money. Online discussions about refunds, missing orders, and unanswered support requests only made the controversy spread even faster. For many frustrated customers, the situation reportedly went far beyond a normal shipping delay or a simple customer service issue. Some supporters claimed the only way they could get any response or financial resolution was by bypassing the organization completely and filing disputes through their banks, credit card companies, or PayPal. That detail became a huge talking point online because people felt they had no other option left. The backlash that exploded across social media was intense and deeply emotional. These were not random shoppers complaining about a bad online order. Many of the people speaking out were longtime Charlie Kirk supporters who believed buying merchandise was a meaningful way to honor his legacy and support the organization connected to him. That is why so many reactions sounded personal and angry. Critics felt the trust between supporters and the organization had been badly damaged. One Facebook post especially gained attention because a lot of people said it reflected exactly what they had experienced themselves. The user wrote, "Has anyone received merch ordered over 12 weeks ago? I have not. I have emailed and looked endlessly to find a link to get my money back, but none exist." The post continued, "I have emailed the only address they provide, and even when I supply my order number, they send me a generic response." The user then added, "It seems like they are scamming people to profit off of Charlie's murder. They need to fill their orders. Their merch is not cheap. I just want my money back." Turning Point is scamming their most loyal followers. That post reportedly sparked a flood of replies from other customers sharing similar stories about delayed shipments, refund struggles, and unanswered support requests, making the controversy grow even bigger online. The comments under that post quickly filled with people claiming they had gone through the exact same thing. Different customers, different order numbers, but the same complaints kept repeating over and over again. Missing merchandise, little to no communication, generic responses, and long waits with no clear answers. What made the backlash especially emotional was the timing. Many supporters said they felt vulnerable while grieving someone they genuinely admired, and critics argued that was exactly why the situation hit so hard. People believed their trust was at its lowest guard, which made feelings of frustration and disappointment even more intense online. And that history is exactly why the canceled book situation caused such a massive reaction online. Supporters were not looking at this like regular customers buying a random product. Many were longtime fans who already felt frustrated by the earlier merchandise controversy, but continued supporting Charlie's legacy anyway. So when this new situation unfolded, critics immediately felt like they were watching the same pattern happen again, only this time with bigger prices and even higher emotions attached to it. The book itself was reportedly expensive, with some packages reaching nearly $100 before shipping costs were even added. It was heavily promoted as Charlie Kirk's defining final message, a deeply personal and spiritual project meant to leave a lasting impact on supporters. Fans reportedly rushed to pre-order copies, purchase exclusive bundles, and spend extra money on limited edition packages tied to the release. Then came the moment that completely reignited the backlash online. According to frustrated customers, the book release suddenly disappeared without warning. There was reportedly no major explanation, no direct communication sent to many buyers, and no clear answers for people who had already spent money. To critics, that silence felt painfully familiar because it reminded them of the earlier merchandise complaints that had already damaged trust among supporters. Instead of clarity or accountability, many customers said they were once again left staring at unanswered questions, missing products, and confusion spreading across social media platforms. Fans quickly started posting screenshots online showing order confirmations, payment receipts, and emails they claimed had gone unanswered for weeks. According to many frustrated supporters, money had already been collected for pre-orders, but there was still no product delivered and no clear explanation about refunds or next steps. The reaction spreading across social media was not just anger anymore. A lot of people sounded completely worn down by the situation. Supporters who said they had already dealt with merchandise problems before were now posting things like, "Again? This is happening again?" The frustration came from feeling trapped in the same cycle twice, with customers claiming they were left in the dark while waiting for answers that never came. But then another layer of the story reportedly pushed the controversy into even more serious territory. Reports began circulating online, claiming that Charlie himself had allegedly requested a full internal financial audit of Turning Point USA shortly before his death. According to those reports, the time period covered by the proposed audit supposedly matched the same stretch of time when Erika had started taking a much larger role in the organization's operations. That detail immediately caught people's attention because, if accurate, it changes how many critics view everything surrounding the ongoing controversies. Online discussions exploded with questions about why such an audit would have been requested in the first place and what concerns may have existed internally at the time. To many people following the situation, this was no longer just about delayed products, canceled books, or poor communication. The reports surrounding the alleged audit made some supporters feel the financial questions being raised online had suddenly become much harder to dismiss as simple internet gossip or random speculation. If those reports about the audit are accurate, then many people online believe the situation takes on a completely different level of seriousness. Critics are now asking whether Charlie himself may have been trying to get answers before his death. What concerns allegedly pushed him to request a financial review of his own organization? What details may have raised alarms internally? And what patterns, if any, made him feel a formal investigation was necessary while he was still alive? Those questions have become a major focus of online discussions because, according to critics, there still have not been many clear public answers addressing them directly. Supporters following the controversy say the silence surrounding those claims has only made speculation grow louder across social media platforms. What keeps pulling people deeper into this story is the way multiple controversies now appear connected through one recurring theme: money. First came the memorial, where leaked audio reportedly captured conversations focused on attendance numbers, sign-ups, and merchandise revenue, while emotions surrounding Charlie's death were still extremely raw. Then came the tribute merchandise backlash, with supporters claiming they paid premium prices for items that allegedly arrived months late, arrived incorrectly, or never showed up at all. After that came the book controversy, which only intensified the criticism online. The project was heavily promoted for months, marketed as Charlie Kirk's most personal and spiritually meaningful final message, while some packages reportedly cost nearly $100 before shipping. Then, according to frustrated buyers, pre-orders were collected and the release later vanished without warning, leaving supporters once again searching for answers and updates that many say never came. Since September 2025, critics online have pointed out that nearly every major controversy tied to Charlie Kirk's legacy has involved money flowing toward Erika or Turning Point USA, followed almost immediately by public questions and backlash. To many supporters watching this unfold, the repeated similarities no longer feel random. They believe a clear pattern has started forming, and that perception is what continues fueling the controversy across social media. What has reportedly made the situation even worse for Erika is not just the criticism itself, but the response to it, or what many people see as the lack of any response at all. Across Turning Point USA's social pages, comment sections have reportedly filled with supporters asking where their orders are, requesting refunds, demanding explanations, and accusing the organization of misleading customers. But according to many frustrated followers, those concerns have largely gone unanswered. Critics online say the more questions people ask, the quieter Erika appears to become publicly. And as frustration keeps building, some supporters now view that silence as meaningful on its own. To them, the absence of direct communication no longer feels accidental or temporary. Instead, many are interpreting it as avoidance, especially as conversations around the canceled book and merchandise complaints continue growing louder. That perception is what has intensified the backlash even more. A number of critics argue that if the book cancellation were simply the result of a normal publishing issue or a legitimate business decision, then a clear public explanation could have quickly calmed concerns. Instead, supporters say they have been left with very little communication, which has only caused speculation and distrust to spread faster online. Critics online argue that if the merchandise delays were simply normal operational problems that were actively being fixed, it would have been easy to explain that publicly. They also believe that if refunds for canceled book pre-orders were being processed quickly and transparently, supporters would already be hearing clear updates about it. Instead, many frustrated followers say the silence surrounding these issues has only made people more suspicious. According to growing conversations online, some critics now believe the lack of communication exists because giving detailed explanations could create even more backlash than staying quiet. Whether that perception is fair or not, it has become a major part of how supporters are interpreting the situation. What makes this especially emotional for longtime followers is the connection they felt to Charlie Kirk himself. Supporters believed he spent years building a movement, a platform, and a community that people trusted deeply. Many gave financial support, public support, and personal loyalty because they genuinely believed in the mission attached to his name. Now, critics argue those same supporters are watching controversies unfold that they feel conflict with the values Charlie publicly represented. And for some fans, the hardest part is that they say they noticed warning signs long before the current backlash exploded. According to online discussions, people had reportedly raised concerns earlier, pointed out inconsistencies, and questioned certain decisions only to feel ignored or dismissed at the time. But now, as screenshots, complaints, leaked audio, and conflicting public statements continue circulating, many critics believe the timeline has become increasingly difficult to explain away, and the contradictions are drawing even more attention every day. The community Charlie Kirk built is clearly not backing down anytime soon. Supporters who followed him for years are becoming louder online, more organized in discussions, and increasingly determined to keep pushing for answers. Across social media, many critics are making it very clear that they do not plan to stop asking questions just because certain topics have become uncomfortable or controversial. For a lot of supporters, this goes beyond one canceled book or one merchandise issue. They point out that Charlie's public statements, interviews, and documented positions are still widely available for anyone to see. And now, with reports circulating about a requested financial audit during the final days of his life, many believe the conversation has shifted into something much bigger. Critics argue that those claims are not simply disappearing with time, especially as more people continue revisiting timelines, receipts, screenshots, and past statements online. And that is why the backlash surrounding the book tour became so intense, particularly after Erika publicly admitted she had apparently never even read the very book she spent months promoting to supporters. And at this point, the biggest issue for many supporters is not even the missing merchandise, the canceled book, or the leaked audio anymore. It is the trust. Once people feel like the trust has been broken, every new controversy starts looking connected. Every unanswered question feels intentional, and every silence gets interpreted as another red flag. That is exactly why this situation keeps growing instead of fading away. The internet moves fast, but stories like this do not disappear when people believe they still have unanswered questions hanging over them. Fans are still posting screenshots, still comparing timelines, still digging through old interviews and public statements, trying to figure out what really happened behind the scenes. And the longer direct answers fail to appear, the more aggressive the speculation becomes online. That is the reality Erika and Turning Point USA are facing right now. Supporters who once defended everything without hesitation are now openly questioning decisions, demanding transparency, and asking where the money connected to Charlie's legacy has actually gone. Because in the eyes of many critics, this is no longer just about business mistakes or bad communication. They believe it has turned into something much bigger, a battle over Charlie Kirk's name, his reputation, and whether the people now controlling that legacy are honoring it or cashing in on it, while supporters are left frustrated, confused, and still waiting for answers. Right now, the pressure surrounding this situation is not slowing down. It is getting bigger by the day. More supporters are speaking out, more screenshots are circulating online, and more people are questioning whether the handling of Charlie Kirk's legacy has crossed a line that cannot be ignored anymore. For critics following this story, the biggest problem is that too many controversies seem to connect back to the same themes: money, silence, unanswered questions, and supporters feeling left in the dark. Whether it is the canceled book, the merchandise complaints, the leaked audio, or the reports about a requested financial audit, people are no longer looking at these moments separately. They are connecting all of them together and demanding explanations that they feel still have not been clearly provided. And until those answers come, this conversation is not going away anytime soon. The community Charlie built is still watching closely, and many supporters believe they owe it to his memory to keep asking hard questions, no matter how uncomfortable those questions become for the people involved. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe the backlash is justified, or do you think the situation is being blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts down in the comments because this debate is getting more intense every single day. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with others following the story, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next update.